Hi folks, John Mark Bantock here with Catalyst Connect. My co-host today is Tara Higginson. Thank you all for joining. This is going to be a webinar on our client portal plugin for WordPress that helps you create a comprehensive and unified customer portal for Zoho. So I'd like to go over the agenda for today's webinar. We're going to get started by doing a quick whirlwind product tour. I'd like to show you what a front-end portal will look like. We'll then go ahead and dive into some of the key new features and updates part of each product. We'll then go into some of the technical requirements and security options, and then we'll get into getting started and resources to help you get it configured. So with that being said, please feel free to shoot any questions you may have throughout the webinar. We'll leave some time at the end for some Q&A. So don't hesitate to send a message in the chat, and we'll be happy to get to it towards the end of the webinar. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. This is a demo site that we've put together to show you what a client portal could look like. So here we have our Catalyst CPAs. This is a demo site. Of course, it's just a simple one-page landing site. What most folks end up doing is they create a big button up at the top of their WordPress site for the client portal. Once we have a client login, by clicking on that button, we have this login page over here where you can configure the ability for a user to sign up for a new account, forget their password, and in the case of an e-commerce store, they can actually browse an e-commerce product gallery and check out during that process. So this is going to be a standard login for an existing user. We can see that a client can log in. They are brought to an overall dashboard that you can configure in the plugin. This is going to allow a user to really configure anything that they would like on this home screen. Here you can see we have an initial banner image. We have quick links. These quick links can be dynamic from that client's profile in Zoho. We can also highlight who that client's account manager is, as well as embed dashboards from analytics or other sites that you may want to highlight on the home screen. The main user navigation panel over here can either be left justified or across the top. We have the ability to have a single sign-on feature where Nick Fury in this case may have access to both stock industries as well as other accounts. So we support parent-child account relationships. And then on the left-hand side here, we can see as we have connected various Zoho apps, we can configure some user options. So everything from the client being able to update basic information from the CRM. We support both custom and standard modules, all field types, read-write permissions, as well as attachments. We integrate with WorkDrive, so we can do full document management through WorkDrive, where users can upload multiple 100-gigabyte files through the plugin. And since we can connect custom modules, you can really get creative in how a user may interact with the Zoho data. So in this case, as an example with a CPA or accounting firm, you may have the client request checks, you may get clarifications on account reconciliations. So we can actually support subforms within the portal as well, which can be quite handy for different use cases. We've also integrated with projects. So a client can come in here to their projects hub. You would need to select the user since we can define which users get access to certain products. Within a project, they can drill down all the way through milestones, our task lists. Within a task list, we can go down into our tasks as well as our subtasks. So we go down the rabbit hole quite a bit when it comes to the projects piece. And there are going to be some nice enhancements here that I'll show you in a sec, but there's quite a bit of detail that a user can dive into. We also have the ability to integrate with Vault for securely sharing passwords. So you can invite a client to a chamber where they can then manage passwords through Vault. We have the ability to submit tickets Client can see all of their ticket threading through here. Of course, with Zoho Books, clients can drill down into estimates, sales orders, invoices, pay for invoices through Zoho's payment gateway as well. And then when it comes to subscriptions, they can manage their subscription plans through the plugin. And then, of course, see their signed documents. And we can embed some dashboards for really getting creative with analytics. If there's any gaps in the Zoho product suite that you'd like to display in the portal, we can roll that up through an analytics dashboard and show it here in the portal. So with that quick whirlwind tour, I'm going to go ahead and flip back to some of the key updates that we've done for each of these products. So we currently support a number of different Zoho applications, everything from CRM, which is going to be our base application. And what I mean by that is a user must be a contact in the CRM and be related to an account. From there, everything obviously syncs back to the CRM, so we can give them access to any books-related information, tickets, etc., that tie back to the account record in the CRM. The apps that we currently support are, of course, CRM, books, subscriptions, desk, work drive projects, inventory for our e-commerce functionality, Zoho Sign, Vault, and analytics. Now, we've seen lots of different use cases being deployed for this portal. The most common use case, of course, is a client portal, meaning an end user who's logging in to update account information, submit tickets, pay for invoices, etc. However, we've seen a lot of folks get creative with this and actually create full marketplaces where they may need to connect two parties, and we can actually give those two parties access to the portal where they can submit data. Obviously, it gets stored in Zoho and it's reflected for the other party to see. So not only can we choose to share data that's just specific to one particular user or account, but we can actually make a module public and create public directories for private networks. We can also extend this for 1099 sales reps. If there's an organization that has hundreds of sales reps that may need to just submit a referral or a deal, but they don't need full CRM access, we can give them a portal to log into to manage and submit their pipeline and update key data points without having to log into Zoho as well. So there are lots of different use cases for the plugin, and we'll continue to make this more flexible as we roll out some of these upcoming updates. So let's go over some of the key things that have been pushed out over the last few months. We have updated the user interface and provided new dashboard layout options. So you can now create multiple data elements on the home dashboard. We have implemented full support for custom CSS and JavaScript, so you can really hone in the portal's UI to meet your needs. The example that I actually showed was completely configured with the out-of-the-box design options. Of course, you can take it a step further if you'd like to at this point. We've also incorporated a full library of custom icons when you are doing your web tabs or iframe embeds. And we've introduced support for dynamic links in the portal. And what I mean by that is you can actually now embed a analytics dashboard through a link on the account record in the CRM. So if you develop a custom dashboard for a client in analytics, simply publish that dashboard, copy the link and paste it into the CRM field. And then that dynamic link will be shown to the end user when they log into the portal. So coming soon with the design side is we're going to be actually introducing a number of different theming options. So you can deploy full themes out of the box. And that's going to really help get the kickoff of the plugin started much faster. We're also going to be introducing the ability to really anchor the whole portal around more than just the account record. So right now, a contact record must belong to an account in order to use the portal. We'll soon be introducing support for a vendor portal or a custom module, so you can have a lot of flexibility for how the portal is configured. On the CRM side, we have introduced full functionality to support both standard and custom modules, subforms, as I mentioned, in addition to all field types. So we've seen some interesting use cases with folks putting in a file field if there's certain documents that they need a client to submit as part of an onboarding process, for example. We can have them submit a document into a file field and give them specific deliverables that they need to finish. As I mentioned, we offer full support for parent-child relationships. So if a contact belongs to a corporate account and they have multiple locations, that corporate user can log into the portal and then browse the portal on behalf of all accounts or drill down into a specific location. On top of that, we can actually offer support to give that end user the ability to jump into different parent-child account trees. And what I mean by that is you may have a corporate customer, Apple, and you may have multiple site locations for Apple, but that corporate user may also have an equity stake in a completely separate company with a different parent account hierarchy. We can now give that user the ability to jump into the portal for both companies and both parent-child trees. We've dramatically improved the user onboarding process. We now have a new invite to portal button that's installed on the CRM. So when you want to invite a client user to the plugin or to the portal, you simply click a button, invite to portal. It shoots them an email where they complete their password registration and they can be automatically approved and have access to the portal. We'll touch on some of the security enhancements later, but this now fully supports hashing of those passwords and encrypting them so we can improve the security of the overall plugin. We've also introduced some flexible permissions, so you can invite a user to the portal who is read-only. And coming soon in some planned releases here will be the support for some more flexible theming options, in addition to more granular permissions for the end user to allow a specific user only access to certain modules. Diving into Desk, we have introduced support for standard fields as well as ticket threading. We are bringing to market the ability to view knowledge bases and communities. However, that's going to come in a few months' time. That is a limitation at this point, but basic ticket submission and threading is supported through the portal, where a user can see their ticket threads over here, drill down and see the messages back and forth on that ticket. As far as projects goes, as I mentioned, we've introduced support for milestones, tasks list, tasks, subtasks, comments, documents, time logs, and we're going to be introducing some better functionality to highlight end user tasks, as well as improved user interface to streamline a user understanding where they stand in the project. For right now, if you need to give a good overview of where a project stands, we recommend rolling up a dashboard into analytics and then displaying the project data through an analytics dashboard if you really wanted to highlight key points about a project. On the subscriptions end, we support now the ability to choose which products you want in the portal and the plan options that you want to make available. Of course, users can sign up and they can switch plans, and some upcoming functionality are going to be some admin controls to choose how a user can or cannot unsubscribe. Today, we do not give the user the ability to cancel a subscription. In plan functionality, there'll be some admin tools where you can choose whether to give that user the ability to cancel their subscription or not. On the books end, we have support for estimates, sales orders, and invoices. We support the ability for the end user to pay through Zoho's payment gateway. This is great because it's going to automatically reconcile those payments with the invoice, and we can also reflect the retainer balances. Upcoming functionality will likely be the ability to send an estimate to a client and then have them accept that invoice through the portal, much like you would through the standard Zoho Books portal. Today, we reflect the invoice over here in the portal, and then the user can click the pay button to go through to Zoho's hosted payment page. On the e-commerce side, this is a pretty extensive build out that we've done over the last few months. We are leveraging Zoho Inventory to actually deploy a full e-commerce solution through the plugin. So you can now have a storefront where you can browse through products, categories. We can drill down into a product and have product information, the ability to share it through social, add it to your cart. We pull live stock balances from Zoho Inventory. Users can search and filter by inventory in a specific warehouse if you're a local company. We support manufacturing filtering, price filtering, and then when a user goes and builds their cart and begins the checkout process, we automatically create the account and contact in Zoho. We actually build a draft sales order in Zoho Inventory attached to that account. And then when they check out, that sales order then turns into an invoice, and they can pay for that invoice through Zoho's hosted payment page. And then, of course, we have the automatic reconciliations. If you're using a payment gateway like Stripe, the clearing account will automatically take care of that transaction. So it really is one of the first fully fledged solutions out there where you can have the customer added to your CRM and your financial software, have the transaction recorded against that account, and importantly, have the payments reconciled against the invoice for that specific customer. So that's a really nice, slick solution for a basic e-commerce website. We are going to be introducing some more flexibility around the store design and some options for how we can display products on the site. On the work drive end, we have rebuilt this integration to support much larger file uploads and downloads, so we can get up to 500 gigabytes depending on the end user's subscription in work drive. We can also automatically create the client folder. So when you invite a client to the plugin, we'll automatically create a root folder for that account. And we're going to be introducing a template where you can actually automatically deploy a set folder structure within that root folder for a client. So an example is you invite a client to the portal, Stock Industries root folder gets created. And if you want to have a standard internal folder structure for each client, we'll be introducing that template so that when that folder gets created, a standard set of subfolders will be deployed as well, and with content in it, so you can pre-deploy best practice documentation for that particular client to reference. On the Zoho Vault end, we can invite a client to Zoho Vault, share a particular chamber and or secrets with that end user, and give them the ability to view, add, edit, or delete those secrets. And that can be controlled at the user level. So there's a fair amount of flexibility on that end. Zoho Sign, we can show Zoho Sign documents. This is just a nice way to really give them access to those completed agreements. The user will still need to sign and accept that agreement through their email to validate who they are. On the analytics side, we once again have the ability to embed dynamic dashboards within the portal, and we've added flexibility to adjust the iframe width and height, so you can better format those dashboards to fit within the portal. And these dynamic links end up being quite helpful because you can create custom dashboards and then display them in a field in the account record, and then that dashboard be dynamically pulled into the plugin here. So going into some technical requirements, there have been some nice updates there. We have introduced support for multiple backends in terms of the server for the website. So we still require WordPress version 4.9 or greater, PHP 5.6, and MySQL 5.6 or later. We on the Zoho end require a CRM enterprise license. Right now, they must have their CRM architected to support the account module, and an end user must be a contact who is related to that account module. When it comes to the configuration of the Zoho ecosystem, we need to make sure that all of the Zoho apps are synced appropriately and we highly recommend that we encourage users to not allow duplicate contacts, so to limit that by email address to avoid any kind of cross-pollination of access. So in terms of the where to get started, most users are going to get started through our free trial for the starter subscription here. Really, the plugin is designed to be a pay-as-you-go product. We believe that we want to deliver the most value, and the more an end customer is clients are using the portal, the more time we're saving our clients. So this is based on the number of actions a client portal user will take. So each action is essentially equivalent to an API call. When an end user were to update a record, for example, submit a support ticket, or view a project-related status, each one of those are going to be an action or an API call. So the more time we save by facilitating interactions between our clients' customers, the more time we're saving them, and the subscription will go up accordingly. In terms of the API call limit, we will be able to support more calls than this 25,000. If you need more than 25,000 API calls, please let us know, and we can certainly increase those limits. We just need to do a more technical review to make sure that we understand the use case and can support that volume. In terms of getting started, when a client clicks on that free trial to sign up, they're going to be taken to this page where they will create their account. Upon creating their account, they're going to be automatically routed through to our main client portal. It's going to automatically bring up the hosted payment page for them to subscribe to that particular option. They'll have the ability to put in their coupon code here, and when they apply that, they'll automatically get tagged to their partner who brought them in. And obviously, when they put in their credit card, they don't get billed until that trial is over. Once they have put in their payment details, they'll get an email with the actual plugin file to install, along with their license key. Once they've installed that plugin in WordPress, you'll see this plugin option added in over here. And once they've popped in their license key, they'll then be able to follow the on-screen instructions to configure the connection of the various Zoho apps, and then go through each of these tabs to configure the front-end user interface. If you would like additional documentation on how to get started with the configuration, you can click on this info tab, and you'll have full access to our documentation and videos as well for how to configure the plugin. So with that, I'd love to open things up to questions at this point, go over specific use cases that may be relevant to certain users, or if you'd like to drill down into some of the newer functionality, certainly happy to do so. As far as getting in touch with our team, if you'd like to schedule a follow-up demo to drill down into some of this new functionality or explore a specific use case, best way to get in touch with us is to email support@catalystconnect.com, and we'll be happy to schedule a one-on-one follow-up to drill into some more detail. We don't have any immediate questions here today, so we will sign off for this webinar, and look forward to circling around with you folks in a one-on-one. Thanks a lot, and have a great day. Cheers.